The African Game of Thieves, Navigating the Winds of Greed and Corruption. In the intricate geopolitical landscape of Africa, a continent brimming with resources and potential, a major change is afoot. However, it is imperative to recognize that this change does not herald the imminent liberation of African nations from the clutches of their erstwhile colonizers. Instead, new actors such as China and Türkiye have entered the fray, ushering in a new era characterized by shifting alliances and a persistent struggle for power and resources. Amidst this tumultuous backdrop, a prevailing undercurrent of greed and corruption thrives, transcending political ideologies and religious doctrines. This essay, drawing inspiration from the political philosophy of Niccolò Machiavelli, explores the dynamics of greed, corruption, and manipulation that persistently afflict the African continent. The Game of Thieves. The historical exploitation of Africa by colonial powers, including France, the UK, Belgium, Holland, and the US, has left an indelible mark on the continent's socio-political landscape. Yet, the winds of change blowing from the east, notably China and Türkiye, have further complicated this narrative. Africa, once seen as a playground for Western powers, has now become a battleground for both old and new actors vying for influence and access to its abundant resources. The enduring tragedy of Africa lies in the fact that while the players change, the game remains the same. Africans have long suffered from a cycle of exploitation, where one group of opportunistic actors replaces another, leaving the local population mired in misery and suffering. This unfortunate situation underscores the Machiavellian axiom that power, once obtained, is seldom relinquished voluntarily. In Africa's case, the game of thieves continues, with each new entrant seeking to maximize its gains at the expense of the continent's inhabitants. The nexus of greed and corruption. Greed and corruption are twin vices that have taken root in the fertile soil of African politics and economics. These nefarious forces feed off each other, creating a cancerous growth that consumes all in its path. The African continent is no stranger to corrupt leaders who prioritize personal wealth accumulation over the welfare of their citizens. Greed drives them to amass fortunes at the expense of their nation's prosperity, perpetuating a cycle of poverty and despair. Machiavelli would argue that this isn't unique to Africa, it's a timeless aspect of human nature. Greed, in his view, is a fundamental motivator that often supersedes notions of altruism or public good. In the African context, it has manifested in the exploitation of resources, embezzlement of public funds, and the fostering of cronyism. Corruption becomes the means by which the powerful maintain their grip on authority and wealth, often at the expense of the masses. The illusion of ideologies and religions. In examining the African predicament, it is vital to recognize that the struggle for power and resources transcends political ideologies and religious beliefs. Capitalism, socialism, communism, or any other ISM devised by humans are tools wielded by those in power to maintain control, divide populations, and further their own interests. Whether a nation leans left or right on the political spectrum, the same cycle of exploitation persists. Similarly, religion, which holds a sacred place in the hearts of many Africans, has not been immune to manipulation. Machiavelli's skepticism regarding the instrumentalization of religion finds resonance in Africa, where unscrupulous individuals have exploited faith to legitimize their actions. Rather than fostering goodwill and moral values, some have used religion as a smokescreen for theft and violence, further deepening the divide among populations. Manipulating the masses. The masses, much like a herd, often seek guidance and direction. This inherent human trait provides a fertile ground for manipulation by those in power. Machiavelli's insights into the manipulation of the masses remain as relevant today as they were in his time. The advent of fake news, pandemics, wars, social media, sports, and celebrity culture have provided new tools for manipulating and controlling populations. Hollywood, in particular, serves as a paradigmatic example of how narratives can be crafted to influence public opinion. Through the lens of Machiavelli, it becomes evident that the manipulation of information and entertainment is a potent tool for those who seek to consolidate their power and shape public discourse. In conclusion, in the unfolding drama of Africa, characterized by a shifting geopolitical landscape and persistent exploitation, Niccolò Machiavelli's insights remain remarkably pertinent. The continent's unfortunate reality is one where the game of thieves endures, driven by the insatiable forces of greed and corruption. Ideologies, religions, and the manipulation of the masses serve as tools in the hands of those who seek to perpetuate this cycle of exploitation. Africa, like Machiavelli's prince, remains ensnared in the complexities of power, where the unfortunate plight of its people continues, with only the thieves changing.